I have a brief statement to read before we begin this podcast. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, Epstein didn't kill himself. A fresh episode of the Savage Sack Tap starts now.
You're listening to the Savage Sack Tap. It's not a podcast, it's not a half-cast, it's just a quick shot to the balls to help you finish off the week. We're cutting through the bullshit, filling your Friday with rage-fueled logic, and cracking a few jokes along the way. So grab a bag of frozen peas. There's a Savage Sack Tap coming your way.
Smooth, lascivious, salacious, outrageous.
Yeah, that works. How we doing? Mike Montone, Savage Sack Tap. Thank you for joining me on a nipply, chilly fucking November morning. What is today? The 16th. November 16th. Almost Thanksgiving. I'm pretty pumped up about that. I'm a big Thanksgiving guy. I call Thanksgiving is like practice for Christmas. It's Christmas without the presents. It's just, you get hammered the night before, and then you feast like a goddamn madman and get into arguments with your closest loved ones the next day. A lot of fun. And it revolves around eating meat, which I think is fantastic because fuck anyone. Alright. I don't particularly hate vegans. I hate vegans who let you know that they're vegans and that you should be a vegan too, and who turn it into a fucking moral cause. Like these cocksuckers from the Huffington Post wrote an article about how we shouldn't eat turkey or whatever this Thanksgiving. Like they can all suck my balls. I'll get deeper and I'll do a Thanksgiving episode and get into it there because I haven't actually, like, I just saw it getting kicked around on Twitter. But yeah, fuck those people. Fuck people who tell you can't eat meat. I bet Greta Thunberg. She's on a boat now. I think she's on her way to Barcelona or some shit. She convinced her parents to become vegans. How fucking preposterous that shit is. Like, I don't know. We might be fucking up the environment. I don't fucking know. What are we gonna fucking do? I'm 34. If things go well, I have 60 some odd years left on the planet. Just based on the way fucking like climate and the earth has like evolved over the years, 60 seconds is a fucking blip. How much fucking damage we gonna do? This probably won't be my problem. Are my grandkids probably gonna have to deal with this bullshit? Yeah, probably. Whatever. I don't know what to fucking tell you. But yeah, why was I talking about the fucking I started talking about Thanksgiving and then I got to... because stupid fucking vegan assholes like Greta Thunberg don't want anyone to have fun and enjoy Thanksgiving, and that chick sucks. That's the best thing about Greta Thunberg, is that it's like this universally agreed on situation where we can talk about how much a kid sucks. I love it. I absolutely, you go on Twitter, no one has been fired yet, as far as I know, for tweeting about how much Greta Thunberg sucks. It's fantastic. I feel like at anything else, involving a child, like if you went online to talk shit about a kid, people would go fucking off on you. But for some reason, even the people who support what Greta Thunberg is about, and who would normally call for a firing for talking shit about Greta Thunberg online, are like, oh, yeah, I mean, we get it. This chick does kind of blow. I'm sorry, folks. I am rambling and incoherent right now. This is what happens when you tell yourself you're just going to take a quick puff before you start the episode. Anyway, yes, it is chilly here. As the globe warms, the temperature drops. It was chilly in Scranton, Pennsylvania, where I was Friday. No, not Friday. Thursday I was out in Scranton. I had to, for work, I was sent out there by my bosses to humiliate a coworker while he gave a presentation as part of an alumni professional panel. So that was a lot of fun. I can't spill too much about that because we haven't taken it on air at the real show that I work for yet. But it was it was fun. I had a good time out there. Shotgunned a couple brews, and I'll leave it at that. Anyway, Yeah, it was interesting being back on campus. Like you viewing a college campus through the eyes of a 34-year-old was just fascinating because like I look at myself and in a lot of ways I have retained a lot of the behavioral characteristics that I had in college. Not all. I don't drink as much, and I did college kids do a shit job at taking care of themselves. Like I take a lot better care of myself. I'm a much more diligent worker, but like I'm still a fucking jackass. But so I never really, you don't think of yourself. At least I don't. I don't have a family and kids. I have a studio apartment that I hotbox every day. So really, I think of myself still through that lens of youth, I guess. But you go to a college campus and then you're walking around, and you're like, well, first you're like, oh, there's some fucking primo tail here. But then you're like, oh no, these really are these are kids. It's just all it is it's just fucking overgrown children walking around in sweatpants. Like I was in the I think I was in the minority, being someone who actually showered that morning. You also realize that college kids do not get up early. I'm like, which makes sense because I didn't fucking get up early when I was in college. 11 maybe. No, there was one year where I would get up at like 6 a.m. to go to the gym and work out, and then I blew my hamstring in track practice, and I ended that practice. But no, yeah, they're just like, aside from a few hot chicks, it's just you're in like a little village with like a couple thousand stinky, overgrown children in sweatpants. What a very, very interesting. I lost my train of thought because I'm a little fucking baked. No, what an interesting place to be, especially because I work in Midtown Manhattan, and that's pretty much aside from like the homeless guys and the guys working the halal cart. It's Midtown Manhattan is like chicks fucking done up and dressed to the motherfucking nines, and businessmen power walking down the street in like really nice suits and shit, and like even the teenagers and shit are all, they're all hype beasts. They're wearing the latest sneakers and they're fucking decked out in their shit. And then you go to a college campus at 9 o'clock in the morning in the Poconos, and it's just a bunch of like kids who look like they reek of fart and beast ice, walking around in unwashed sweatpants. So fascinating. Like you think about that, and then you're like, there are all these porns that are like campus fuck fest, and you're like, yeah, but like the room that they're gonna have that fuck fest in is probably really, really gross. Like if you go to like a proper adult orgy, like I'm sure it's held in like a nice clean hotel room, and fucking everybody's showered and ready for the fuck fest. A campus fuck fest is like a dirty frat room with like 3 full garbage bags of beer can and fucking stale pizza that have been sitting there for a month, with mice crawling around inside of them, and fucking some dude in like his dirty ass jockeys that he hasn't washed in 2 months. Like it's just the actual idea of a college fuckfest is quite disgusting. I think that's what makes spring break so popular, is because you can stay outside and people are in the ocean, so they're at least rinsed off before you engage in the fuckfest. But yeah. Wow, I have really gone off the fucking, and we're only not even 10 minutes, 12 minutes into the fucking thing. Yikes. Alright, yeah, but anyway, I guess the important takeaway here is college should not be taken too seriously. Let's get your fucking degree. I don't know. I think you should use college to learn how to socialize and figure out what you're interested in. I know there are a few people who like show up on campus their freshman year and like they know exactly what they want to do. Like people who become friends who of mine have become doctors or lawyers or whatever. Like, that was it. That was the fucking dream, and college was a necessary stepping stone for that. Otherwise, honestly, fucking, get like a little, like, minor in business so that you can always kind of look out for and take care of yourself. And then just study something that's interesting to you. Like, I pretty much studied the fucking Middle East, Islam, and the Iraq War in college. Like, it was through a political science program, but, like, I picked classes that had to do with all of that shit because I was just fascinated by it. And obviously I wound up going there. I guess that capped it off. But, like, I don't know what, it's 2019. 12 years after graduation, I'm not using any of that shit. I got a communication degree, so I would be prepared for, professional work in that. But even that, I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, I could do all this shit without a fucking college communication degree. I'd be way better off with, like, having gotten my other degree in, like, fucking business or finance or something like that. So I think what you should do, if you're a college kid listening to this, and this is from a 34-year-old dude, study something that you can use, not necessarily the degree in, but I guess having the degree would help, but the knowledge in, like business or finance or something like that, just as, like, a safety thing to have in your back pocket. Like, I now have that with I went and picked up a little exercise science degree. But yeah, just have that in your back pocket and be like, okay, I'll always have this to kind of fall back on, whatever. And then just study some shit that you find interesting. Like, if you're just fascinated by fucking history, then study history. Take a bunch of fucking history classes. If you're into fucking art, you go art and business or art and finance. You can always make some fucking cheddar with that finance degree. And then you're like, all right, I'll look at a bunch of paintings and do some charcoal sketching and whatnot. I took art classes in college. I took drawing, and we got to draw naked people, and what a delight. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on college. Speaking of college, the Electoral College that elected President Donald J. Trump. You see how I did that? What a fine transition that was. They've started the impeachment hearings, and I'm really curious as to if anyone even gives a shit that this is going on. Like, I follow the news quite aggressively. Like, I spend a goodly chunk of my day on Drudge Report, the New York Post, and scrolling through Twitter to see what's up in this world of ours. And I do not give the slightest fuck about this impeachment shit going on. I just don't think... I think everyone is just like... With Trump right now, it's like, oh, you either... Like, there are just three hard camps. There's, you love him, you hate him, and you are almost entirely indifferent and just want everyone to shut the fuck up. So it's like, this whole thing is like, the people who love him, I feel like, are, here and then here, but, like, I feel like there's an ever-expanding group of people who are like, I don't know, just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. I'm just so like, it's like, it really is like the Trump fatigue. Like, I can only be told that he's ruining the planet so much until it becomes white noise. And for me, it really, I would say, by, like, election night, when I saw that he was going to win, I was just like, oh, okay. No, like, it wasn't like this magical fucking change. And then, like, inauguration, I was like, okay, he seems pretty normal. And then those loonies just threw that with those wild fucking protests. And I was like, oh no. Like, these guys are actually crazier than those guys. Like, they just elected a guy who talks a little shit. These guys are fucking nuts and rioting in the street. Yeah, I feel like outside of the Northeast corridor here, the DC to New York, DC to Boston corridor, I don't think outside of that and LA, I don't think anyone gives a fuck. I think, those people are, like, obsessed with everything he does, and I think everyone else is just like, yeah, I don't know, economy's doing pretty good. Yeah. Gay people are getting married. smoke pot in a bunch of states. We're fine. Yeah, I don't know. I do not think anyone gives a flying fuck about this impeachment right now. So yeah, and frankly, neither do I. I guess because the Senate's not gonna fucking convict him, right? Like, that's part of it, and then the other part of it is it's such a confusing thing. You're just like, oh, I don't know. He made a fucking phone. Like, I'm sure they all talk about fucking shit like this. If the impeachment's a political move. So no, everyone. It's just like all it is they're just like, okay, this is it. They found their thing they want to cling to, but like they already went through one ridiculous investigation that turned up nothing. It's like, okay, I don't know what to fucking tell you. We don't. The United States doesn't have a fucking. I feel like we shouldn't have a mandate to just hand shit to the Ukraine anyway. So suck a dick. Fuck was I? Oh, yeah, I should probably plug the social media. Wow. I probably shouldn't smoke before I do these fucking podcasts. I'm fucking loopy. Facebook.com/The Savage Crew. Twitter @Mike Montone. Instagram @Gary_Moyler. MOYLER. And, the fuck's the other one? Oh, yeah. The SavageCrew.libsyn, LIBSYN.com is where you can find the entire show. People are getting into fights over sandwiches. That's the thing. And not like arguments over which sandwich is better, although that was going on over the summer. It was like Popeyes versus KFC versus Chick-fil-A, and it was a whole thing. No, people are getting into physical altercations because of the Popeyes chicken. Is it the buffalo chicken sandwich? Some fucking chicken. Or is it just the Popeyes chicken sandwich? Like, what is wrong with people? I don't understand the commitment to a piece of fast food. I really just don't. Like, isn't that... And people who say, like, we have, like, so many problems in this country and whatnot. If you live in a country where people have the time and disposable resources and energy to wait in line for hours and get into violent altercations over a fast food sandwich, like, I mean, that's it. That is, like, the ultimate indicator of luxury and privilege. Like, you are doing... I mean, you got a whole host of other fucking problems, but in the sense that, you, like, as far as, like, everyone is fat and happy, yeah, for the most part. I mean, I realize there are some issues in this country that need to be addressed, but I don't think any of them are as bad as it's being made out to be, because we have time to get into fist fights over chicken sandwiches. Like, that's it. If that's the case, if you can get into a brawl over a chicken sandwich, if you have time to take off from whatever it is you do professionally, to go down and spend hours in line for a chicken sandwich, and then you think it's justifiable to get into a fight over it, everyone's fucking nuts, we can agree on that. But I think at least from a sort of resource perspective, well, we've got the essentials, is what I'm trying to say. No one who has time to do that should be walking around, with their hand out, asking big government for more money. I guess that's what I'm saying, because I'm constantly hearing that, like, oh, it's like, it's a tale of two countries, and we have the haves and the have-nots, and then I'm like, well, maybe you wouldn't be a have-not if you weren't at a fast food restaurant getting into a brawl over a chicken sandwich. Like, I guess that's where I wanted to go with this. If the have-nots have the time to go stand online for hours waiting for a fast food chicken sandwich, which is, it's essentially an inexpensive luxury item, right? You don't have to eat fast food. You could go to the grocery store and buy, a stalk of fucking broccoli for whatever, half of what they probably even no wait, what's fries, like $3 now? I'm thinking like dollar menu shit. Yeah, like a fraction. Like you could just get yourself, like I bought a pack of 4 chicken thighs in there that I have in the fridge right now. It was like $2. So I feel like the whole, oh, people eat fast food because it's cheap calories. It's like, yeah, fuck right off with that. Yeah, no, it's because Americans are fucking silly motherfuckers who get obsessed with a fast food chicken sandwich, and we're doing well enough as a country, as a people, that we can take time out of our schedules to go stand online for hours and then get into violent altercations over the chicken sandwich. Like that, you're doing okay. If the most serious thing in your life is the return or debut or whatever the fuck this was of a chicken sandwich, you're doing okay. Because if you weren't, you'd be out fucking grinding for that money, and you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking spend 5 hours standing online or whatever. Say it's the 3 hour wait, like, say it's a fucking supreme, like, Apple fucking product release type line. So say that you make, say maybe you don't work the best job. You're only getting, fucking $13 an hour. 36, so that's, $13 an hour times 3, $39. Then you're going to spend the money on, your sandwich meal here. So it's fast food meal. Let's assume that's like $8. So what you're saying is it's one of two things. Either you're doing well enough to say that that at a minimum this 40 some odd dollar expenditure on a fast food sandwich is, I can afford that, no problem. In which case it's actually probably way more, because if it's no problem for you, then you probably have a better job than $13 an hour. Or you're saying this is a hardship, I can't afford this, but I don't give a shit because I'm just more focused on the sandwich, and someone else should fucking take care of the other problem for me. So which is, I mean, either way, you're taking hours to wait for a fucking sandwich and eat junk food. So you have to, by that definition, you either are doing fine, or if you're not doing fine, it is because of your own doing. It took a lot of rambling and prattling to get to that point, but I arrived at it, I guess is what I'm saying. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to try it. I was actually in the vicinity of a Popeyes the other day, and I didn't do it. Yeah, I don't know. If someone brought me one, I would. Chick-fil-A is great. I know they don't like, that people say that Chick-fil-A is anti-gay, but Chick-fil-A is fucking delicious. So, I mean, yeah, look, fast food is tasty as fuck, but it is, I would still consider it a leisure item. What's next? Oh, yeah, this helmet to the face business that took place during the Browns Steelers game on Thursday night. This is what happens when you don't watch Thursday night. I probably should be watching more Thursday night football, because the NFL, there's always something that fucking goes down, and then you miss it, and then you gotta check it out after the fact. So apparently, Myles Garrett, is it Garrett or Jarrett? I don't fucking know. I don't really follow the Browns. But he hit Mason Rudolph, the Steelers quarterback, with his helmet after a play. And I have actually been a victim of such. Thank you, Mr. Dan Corey. You can see I got the scar there right underneath my right eye, so if you're ever wondering why my right eye is half shut quite frequently, that has a lot to do with it. I took a football helmet to the face. We were walking off the practice field, and my buddy walked up behind one of the seniors. It was our sophomore year, and he accused him of being a child molester, and the senior swung around with his helmet, and my buddy jumped out of the way. I stepped into it, boom, right to the face, and here we have a fucked up eye. But anyway, yeah, people are going nuts about this. They want the dude from the Browns to be like permanently suspended from football and criminally charged with, I guess, assault, because this is the problem with everyone and their fucking mother following the NFL now. Like, it used to be back in the day, in the 1990s, that the only people watching football were, like, diehard football fans, alcoholics who happened to be at the bar on Sunday, gamblers, and yeah, that's about it. Like, that was just degenerates. Guys, men were watching football. Since I want to say, early, mid-2000s, women started watching football, and families, and it became this, like, everybody huddle around everyone in America is watching football now, so there's this huge spotlight on the NFL, and a lot of that spotlight is shined by people who are, like, complete fucking pussies. Like, among the people who watch the NFL on Sundays now are people who are trying to get Pee Wee football banned in America. So these are the kind of people who are seeing this shit. Now, if I, who played football for over a decade, coached the sport, love football, see someone whack some guy with their helmet after a play, say, all right, yeah, penalty, fine, suspend him for the fucking season or for 5-6 games, whatever. But that's it. You end it there. Like that. Like, there's no. We don't need. Add it to the fucking video that you show the rookies before the season starts about what not to do. But it's a violent sport. These guys they're just testosterone machines who are getting paid shitloads of money to be very good at violence. What do you fucking expect? Like, what do you think, what kind of shit do you think went on in the NFL before there was a huge spotlight on it? It's like, you think it was like, it was nice? No. You know what goes on like underneath a fucking pile when people are like trying to, there's guys trying, like, there are guys peeling fingers back to try to get the football. They're fucking poking eyes. They're sticking hands into guys' fucking mouths. They're fucking jabbing nuts, shoving thumbs up each other's anuses. It is a just vile, disgusting, fucking violent game. Okay? And it's gotten, the hits have gotten harder because guys are getting bigger, stronger, and faster. But I feel like the brutal attitude has slightly changed. Like, it used to be a game where shit like crackback blocks and fucking picks and shit, and hitting you can't hit the quarterback in the fucking head anymore. Like, that used to be the place to hit the quarterback. Ring his bell a little bit. Let's get to throw him off his game. I know we're concerned with safety in the NFL now, but people who are saying that this guy should be fucking charged, like, fuck the fuck off. Like, his job involved violence. He got a little carried away. The league will punish him. That's it. And that, like, kudos to Mason Rudolph for saying he wouldn't pursue charges. Look, these guys are getting paid millions of fucking dollars to hurt, like, to beat the shit out of each other. Let them have at it, and let the organization handle the shit by itself. And this is why the football guys among us do not want the non-football people watching football and opining on. And I'll say, like, you want to watch the game, it's great, it's a great game, but understand the customs and the insanity that are part and parcel to that game, okay? We have a way of doing things, and we don't need you fucking with it, quite honestly, is probably the best way to put it, alright? So, he will be penalized for what he, like, again, when I got whacked in the face with a fucking helmet, and, I just went to the trainer, they were like, okay, you're gonna have to go to the hospital and get stitches, and that was it. I didn't bitch, I didn't tell the fucking principal, I didn't fucking threaten to sue the kid, I didn't ask for him to be kicked off the team or suspended or whatever, just fucking took it like a fucking man, and that was it. I had the stitches in. The doctor was like, yeah, just wait a couple days before you hit again. You can play on Saturday. So I went back to practice, fucking practiced without shoulder pads for 2 days, went out. I was back on the field by fucking on Saturday, running down and covering kickoffs. So, again, if you're not a football person, just suck my fucking balls on this one. On most things that involve football, like the Kaepernick thing, I guess he's got a tryout today, and 24 teams are going, and like people going nuts that Colin Kaepernick doesn't have a job in the NFL. Like again, okay, I understand that Colin Kaepernick is probably good enough to be on an NFL roster. He's good enough to be starting in the NFL right now, but that's a maybe not. Probably depending, if you were to go around the league and look at every, this is not a sports show, so generally speaking, yeah, he's a very athletic guy. He can probably do something for someone physically in the NFL. You know what the problem is? The problem is he's created a fucking media circus around himself, and wherever he goes, that distraction is going to go with him. And you know what NFL teams don't want to deal with when they're trying to win a fucking Super Bowl? Is distractions that have nothing to do with football. Like, that's why that's why. It's not about him being blackballed from the NFL. It's about him doing something that shines a spotlight on whatever team he's at, and teams don't want to fucking deal with that. It is a football league. It's a business. If you're in the NFL, you are in the business of trying to win football games. So to say that you wouldn't want a media distraction on your team and in your locker room, particularly one who who probably won't bring that much of a net benefit to your team, it's not a blackballing. It's the same thing with Michael Sam when he decided to come out of the closet. Like, you're going to do something, you're going to go out and do something that creates a fucking media circus. Teams aren't going to they're not going to want you. And it has nothing to do with them hating you because you're gay or black or whatever. It has everything to do with, we want to win football games. We don't need that fucking distraction. Like, that's it. Distractions make it hard. Football is a difficult sport to prepare for. Preparing for a football game on Sunday is a very difficult thing. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of mental and physical energy. And people, if you don't really understand, if you haven't spent time around football, you don't understand that. Like, it's not like, oh, the game ends on Sunday, and then they just show up next Sunday for the game. Like, no. You get Monday off, and then they're in Tuesday starting prep for the next week. They're watching fucking game film. They're working out. They're getting injury treatments. They're out on the practice field. They're working on a game plan scheme for the upcoming week. If you've just signed someone new, you got to get them prepped and ready. They have to develop a rapport and a working relationship with their teammates. A lot of fucking shit going on. A lot of shit. So this idea that like it's like it's almost like they're like. He's being banned from his Pop Warner football team. It's like the way people are looking at it. Like, oh yeah, like he should be able to play. Like it's like a fun youth sport. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right? This is a fucking business. They are there to win football games and make money. And if your presence detracts from your team winning football games and making money, no one's going to want you. That's it. Okay. And on a final note, it is my responsibility to tell you that Epstein didn't kill himself. I love this meme that's floating around the internet now. And it's like, you'll be looking at something on Instagram and you'll be like, all right, what are they getting to here? And then out of nowhere, it'll just say, Epstein didn't kill himself. Like I saw, there's like a picture of it was like a dead deer and Jeffrey Epstein, and it was like, what do these two have in common? Neither of them killed themselves. There's just a million of them out there, but it is becoming quite clear that Epstein didn't kill himself. Yeah, the fucking guards were asleep. Just absolutely ridiculous. It was definitely. All right, look, we have ABC covering up the whole thing because of the fucking not wanting to lose access to the Clintons and the royal family and shit, and then we have him just disappearing, and the only people making noise about Epstein and how he didn't kill himself are like Fox News, because they're trying to get the Clintons, and those kind of outlets like the fucking Post, like tabloids and shit. But no one, where is CNN on this? Where is ABC? Where is CBS? When everyone in the country is screaming from the rooftops, Epstein didn't kill himself. Where are they now? Where's the investigation into this? You got Mueller, you got fucking Yankovic, or whoever this fucking Ukraine lady is with the handsome jawline and the fucking sensible haircut, but no investigation into the Epstein homicide. For fucking shame. That's what I want Congress doing. If I'm going to have to pay bullshit taxes every year, I want Congress looking into the murder of Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, yeah, justice for Jeffrey. Everyone should walk around wearing a Justice for Jeffrey t-shirt. All right, I'm going to wrap things up. What a silly day we had today. Facebook.com/The Savage Crew. Twitter @Mike Montone, Instagram @Gary_Moyler, MOYLER, and thesavagecrew.libsyn.com is where you can find the podcast. Thank you for joining us today. Adios.